Lobster?
You know why we did it outside?
Why?
One, we can give some great flavor by using my hickory grill over here. And two, I love being outdoors. It's great to go outside. You know, staying in a hot kitchen in the summertime is stupid. I'm sorry, we do it all the time for a living and we had to get paid for it. But when I'm off, I'm outside. I'm grilling and chilling outside in the summertime.
So we have some lobster. We have some beautiful sea scallops from, where do you think these are from, New England?
I think they come out of Barnegat Light, which is up in right outside Long Beach Island. And see what's wonderful about these sea scallops, don't let me touch them, is most sea scallops are soaked with
and they pump them with water.
Pump them with water. But these, since they come from Barnegat Light, we get the freshest, plumpest, juiciest scallops with no water added. And you don't, when you cook them, you won't hear them going spitting all the water out all the time.
How was that?
Well, see, when you get all these commercial scallops, they go but we talked to my friend.
I like that,
Barnegat Light. Well,
then we also have some cultivated black mussels. And I think the cultivated ones are probably safer and they're easier because they're always clean. And they're sort of farm raised.
You know how to clean a mussel to get all the grit out of the inside?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. But how do you do them? I'll tell you how I do them first.
Well, you want to tell me first? Go ahead.
What you do is you take the mussels and you put them in a little cold water and you throw some cornmeal in there.
Well, is
that what you do?
That's country way. That's the way I do it too.
Well, I got to learn something from you. Right?
Okay.
Every once in a while. And you take the cornmeal and what happens is the mussels eat the cornmeal and then they spit out the sand. So they get very nice and clean. But the cultivated ones are cleaner than usual. Then we also have some beautiful shrimp with the shells on.
We're getting some great shrimp out of North Carolina right now. I only buy fresh food at Jack's Firehouse. I never buy anything frozen. I don't believe in freezers. So we buy them fresh. And I get some great shrimp out of North Carolina. About that size, it's just beautiful.
What kind of clams are these?
Those are top neck clams.
Top neck? They're not little neck?
Those are not little neck clams. Little neck clams are smaller.
Yeah, but little neck clams are good.
Little neck clams are
Long
wonderful.
Island, New York City?
But for this dish, we wanted the top necks because they're bigger and they got a lot of flavor also. Little necks may be lost because we got so many big, bold flavors.
So we'll retain it.
Yes.
Okay, so in Spain, a classical paella, it's more than anything, it has some shellfish, and we're going to put some chicken as well, some chicken thighs, which, you know, the dark meat is going to retain a lot of the moisture and have great flavor. But also, in Spain, it's classical to use saffron. And it's a saffron rice. I mean, more importantly than anything, I mean, we have some really beautiful ingredients here, but it's definitely a rice dish. It's an all-in-one rice dish.
Do you know something about saffron? You know, in the early 1900s, they had a problem with saffron in Spain, and they grew it all in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And you know that?
Can't believe it.
You know why they stopped?
No.
They can't get any boys out in Lancaster to go by and pick off one pedestal at a time.
Hold it.
This is all you pick off, is one at a time off of each flower. And it takes hours to get an ounce. You pay a lot of money for an ounce, but it takes almost all day to pick it. It's not hard to grow. And they're still growing it all day. In fact, I've used some in Jack's Firehouse for dishes I do there.
All right. Well, we're not going to use that much saffron today.
Oh, okay.
We're going to make a curried rice, curried shellfish and chicken paella. And we're going to get it on the grill. And here's the important thing about the way we cook paella. Classically, they kind of throw everything in one pot, they put it on top of the stove and they cook it. But what happens there is some things get undercooked, some things get overcooked. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook things separately so that they're cooked perfectly. So the first thing we're gonna do is gonna put some lobster on the grill because that's gonna take the longest. Jack's starting to put some onions on the fire. See, we're doing it on the grill there as well. He's gonna sweat it in some olive oil. He's gonna start cooking some rice. I'm going to put these lobster on, and when we come back, we're going to show you how to cook the rest of this dish. We got the lobsters, the shellfish, the shrimp, the mussels, the chicken. We're going to show you how to cook the rice, and don't forget, more importantly, we got sangria in the end, so stay with us.
Indulge your chocolate cravings on Big Food Friday.
I don't like a lot between me and my chocolate.
The decadence begins at 10 Eastern when Marcel Desaulniers bakes an extra chocolatey treat on Baker's Dozen.
This is a cake to be reckoned with.
Then, at 10:30, Alice Medrich lets you have your cake and eat it too, the low-fat way.
This cake tastes delicious enough without glaze.
Satisfy your sweet tooth on
Big Food Friday.
Friday at 10 Eastern on the Food Network.
I'm Betty. This is Pat. We're the Reynolds Wrap Kitchen's home economists. Welcome to our cookout. We're steaming vegetables, grilling potatoes, garlic bread, and trout that packed hot fresh this morning. I'm using Reynolds Wrap heavy-duty aluminum foil to make my entire meal. Here's what happens when you don't. Heavy-duty Reynolds Wrap protects foods from scorching, sticking, and falling through the wrap. One more reason, Reynolds has it all wrapped up. This looks done.
Steel wool, a creature from a prehistoric age, terrorizing us with splinters, dripping with rust. Enter a superior species, the new Scotch-Brite Never Rust Soap Pad. It's made from an innovative fiber that never rusts or splinters, and no steel wool pad cleans better. The old dinosaur is history. Welcome to the Scotch-Brite age. New Never Rust Soap Pads. Scour power from Scotch-Brite. Another 3M innovation.
One of the hottest new places to eat. Doesn't take reservations. But with meals like this, it's always a full house. Taste what's next. Pork, the other white meat.
Just one sniff, and I felt so hard in love with you.
New Floral Fresh Clorox 2 Color Safe Bleach. It's love at first sniff.
Share a race car with my husband? Never. We don't even share shave creams. For me, it's pure silk. I love it. It moisturizes and makes my legs feel silky. Want a real experience? Then experience pure silk.
And then you're gonna throw it back to me so I can cook the shellfish. Welcome back, everybody. Got the lobster on the grill, cooking away for the paella. Jack, why don't you start cooking the rice for us?
I started cooking the rice because you told me it was that old curry that you were going to use. And what you have to do with curry, I think, Bobby, is you have to cook it some to get the flavors developed. It's got a cumin and the coriander seeds in it, and you got to really cook it to get some of the flavors opening up. And then after I start cooking it, I'm going to add some rice to my onions, my curried onions by now. And you mix it around, and I'm going to actually saute some of the rice. That way I'll get a better nut flavor out of the rice. And while I'm doing that, since I've got a grill going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook my chicken thighs. I see I salted them and peppered them already, so I'll lay down nice heat on that. As this is cooking, I'm going to bring my sausage over. We're actually making this almost kosher style, aren't we, Bobby?
What is that? It's chorizo, right?
This is chorizo, which is the Mexican sausage. The Mexican sausage, they make this a very flavorful, pungent.
It's like a spicy Mexican pork sausage.
Oh, I should have said pork. And now, while I'm over here doing the hard work, could you do me a favor and grill off some of the shrimp, some of the clams,
Absolutely.
some of the mussels? And if you get in over your head over there, let me know, and I'll cook off some of the stuff. But meanwhile, let's see what we can do here.
I got you covered.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about what we got here. We got some sea scallops, some shrimp, some mussels, some clams, and we're gonna throw a little asparagus in there too, because you need some, some vegetables. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna throw the scallops on. We're gonna just brush them a little bit with some olive oil, some salt and pepper on both sides. We're gonna do the same thing with the shrimp. Brush them a little bit. We're gonna leave the shells on. Keep the moisture in there. Season them again, salt and pepper. Always make sure you season everything with salt and pepper. You want to bring the natural flavors out, and that's what salt and pepper does. If you don't use any other spices, if you have no spices on your rack, you have no flavors in your refrigerator, salt and pepper you have to have. You want to bring out the natural flavors of the food. Just buy fresh. Then we have some black mussels, the black cultivated mussels and the clams, and the asparagus. The asparagus we're also going to coat with a little olive oil and salt and pepper. See, very simple. Not complicated ingredients. And then we're going to go to the grill. We got the lobster in here, cooking away. We put the lobster on first because that takes the longest. We want to make sure that everything, you want to prioritize what you cook first. So this way everything is cooked correctly. We're going to throw the mussels on.
I see you using a tray here.
Not yet. We're gonna throw the mussels on and some clams, and these aren't gonna fall through the grill, so you have no problem. The heat from the grill is just gonna start opening up the mussels and the clams. If they don't open up though, don't use them. You don't wanna take the chance, they may be dead, and you have to make sure that the clams and the mussels are alive before you cook them. Then we're gonna throw the asparagus on this grill pan we have here. As you can see that, it keeps things from that are small from falling through. We're gonna throw the shrimp on here. And you have to make sure the grill is very hot. If the grill's not hot enough, everything's gonna stick to the grill, and that's no good. You want the food to come off the grill. You don't want the food to stay on the grill or through the grill. And we're gonna throw the scallops on. And you can hear them. If they don't sizzle immediately, that means that the grill's not hot enough. So don't keep throwing the fish on. How you doing over there, Jack?
I'm doing real good. You know, a lot of times when you're grilling chicken, you have flour wraps. You know, where you fire the oil out of the chicken skin goes on, and there's a flour wrap. So what I do to keep the flour wrap to a minimum is whenever the fire starts cranking up, I reach underneath this grill and I just turn this little handle here, and that tells me how much air I can get in it. So I shut the air down. That keeps the fire low. So therefore, I don't have to worry about it charcoal on the outside of the chicken too much, because I control the fire with the air. The amount of air going in will control my fire. Now, meanwhile, my rice is getting ready to start boiling over here.
You look good in front of that grill.
Well, thank you. I like the grills. I like to put flavor into it. See, your seafood you're going to cook on that hot grill, which is the gas grill. I get to cook mine over an open fire, which gives me a lot of body, a lot of flavor. And your rice is going to pick up a little bit of the flavor, too. That's one reason we cook it outside. I know we love to be outside cooking, but we get a lot of flavor. In the summertime, your body begs for flavor. You like hotter, spicier foods. You like light foods with big, bold flavors in the summertime. And that's what my cooking is all about. Okay. Now, while you're over here playing with your seafood, I'm going to start making sangria.
Absolutely.
If you don't want any, you can go over there, but I can have a liquid lunch out of sangria because I get all my basic food groups. Alcohol, and fruit. We got it covered. This is okay.
Completely.
Now, today we're using a yellow peach. White peaches aren't in season good yet down here?
Well, this is something that we serve in the warmer months at Bolo, which is my Spanish restaurant in New York, because you know you have the classic red sangria, but in the summer you might want something a little bit lighter. Okay. So we make a white peach sangria, which is really delicious. We're going to show you how to make it.
Now, one other drink that we both love a lot is when we were down in Phoenix, there was this place called the Phoenician. We have a friend by the name of Robert McGrath. And he had this contraption. What was this called, Bobby?
What, the cactus pear margarita?
Yes, sir. Weren't they great?
They were delicious. I had to steal them.
You stole them for Mesa or Bolo?
For Mesa Grill.
Does he know that yet?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Well, when somebody steals one of my recipes, I feel like that is a privilege. Somebody actually thought something was good enough of mine to use it in their own. They don't have to give me credit. As long as they like my food, I'm okay. And I'm very fortunate. People steal my food all the time. Now, while I'm over here talking...
Can I get some sangria?
Not yet. This is work. I don't open cans in my restaurants.
All right. Let me get some of the brandy over here.
You got brandy?
Some triple sec.
You going to help on this?
Why not?
Can you start pouring?
Yeah. Some white wine.
The hardest thing about making sangria is pureeing the fruit, right?
Yep.
Can you handle that for me?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to puree it in a little bit of wine to help it puree. I'm just going to pour it right into the blender.
How about orange juice? Would that be okay to puree in?
You want me to put in some orange juice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You won't leave the skins on, more flavor. Get this blender going.
See, Bobby has to use electricity. I don't have it in my kitchen very much.
You certainly don't. You want to puree it until it's completely smooth.
And these oranges that I'm slicing for it, I'm leaving the skins on. I like to get the citrus out of the flavor out of the skin, and I'm just kind of placing them against the bowl. That will have the juice come out of it a little bit faster. How's your shellfish coming,
Oh, my mussels are starting to open, and the clams are right behind it.
Well, now, clams take a little bit longer than mussels usually to open on a grill, or even in a pot, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, you got that.
Here's your peach puree.
Okay.
Now we're going to throw some white wine.
Okay. Measure it carefully.
Okay.
A little bit more.
How's that?
More.
All right.
More. It's a hot day. It's going to take a long...
How about some brandy? You want some of that?
Oh, plenty of brandy, please.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
A little more.
You weren't even watching me.
I can't have too much of good things.
How about some triple sec, some orange flavored liquor?
That's okay.
All right. Just a touch, a little sweetness. What else, Jack?
Well,
How about some fruit?
I'm gonna put some more fruit in. But you know something that's very nice over here is I'm getting this wonderful flavor in the meat that I'm cooking. And because I need that because we're not gonna cook it all together very much, okay? So we want the individual flavors to be very strong and assertive. When you eat the lobster, it's going to have a little bit of special sweetness from the wood, okay? From charcoal. So will the mussels. And my meat over here is going to be big and bold and spread out all across that plate with just flavor. You do a pretty good job on chopping. Have you ever opened a lobster like this, Bobby?
Yes.
Okay, by just grabbing hold of the claw and pulling it out, it's real easy. Then we take it back with a knife.
Just crack it. You want to leave it in the shell though, for this dish.
We do?
Yeah.
You mean you like to open it up like this?
I'm on the sangria already. You can keep going on the lobster.
How come I started off with something that good and you decided to jump in? Well, I want you to know the sangria is great, but this paella is going to be succulent to wonderful, wonderful. You're okay? Your muscles are
We're almost
open?
done, but when we come back, Jack, we're going to take all the shellfish off the grill. We're going to combine it with the rice. We're going to make a great paella. And we're going to
be digitally added or deleted to the animation.
They can make me look good, they can make anybody look good.
Duck.
I know, I saw him. You think he'll come
Amazing. Yeah, well, maybe he'll come for dinner.
Possibly. He can smell this for sure. So we wanted to cook it outside. So we made a grilled shellfish and chicken paella with some curried rice. And now, if you were watching before, we put all the shellfish on the grill. And now we're just going to sort of arrange it. And you just, you know, Jack has some lobster over there.
I like lobster a lot.
I got some clams. You know, any clams that you want to use. What are these called, Jack?
These are top necks.
Top neck clams. If you can't find top necks, you can find little necks or cherry stones or even steamers if you can get them. I love steamers.
The steamers are great for this dish. So are the top necks. The little necks, I think, may be just a little bit too small and may not carry enough flavor throughout. But I really like the top neck clams in this. And you know, you get to show off everything on this dish. A lot of times when you cook it in a restaurant and you cook it in a pot, then it's hard to show off all the ingredients. But since we get to hand place it, this is going to be wonderful to eat. And you know, I don't know whether I'd gotten all that food on it or not. I may have been eating some of that seafood before we even got started if I hadn't had to do this dish.
Well, we got some black cultivated mussels, and we have some shrimp that we kept in the shell. Now, if you want to take them out of the shell, you just grab them by the legs down here and just take the shell right off in one move, one motion. See that?
Well, now, you know, fruit and rice goes together real well. Did you know that?
What's that?
Fruit and rice goes together real well. We don't do that enough in this country. But in Spain, a traditional dish would be the paella. And they would make that in a dish that's actually called a paella, which is a two-handled pot. That's where they actually got the name. Did you know that, Bobby?
Yes, sir.
And with this dish, they would serve a beverage, a fruit concocted beverage called sangria. And in this sangria, we use some orange juice. We use some triple sec, which is an orange-flavored liqueur. We use the white wine, and we use the brandy. And then we bumped it up with flavor, you know, just kind of infused it, I guess you could say. Are you going after my oregano?
Absolutely. I'm going to garnish this dish with a little fresh oregano. Very Spanish.
Oregano's Spanish?
Very.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, why not?
But then we bumped up the flavor in the sangria by using the different fruits. And you could use any fruits. A lot of times it's red sangria, but today we made it white out of peach, and the peach flavor really comes through. So while you're finishing up, I'm going to start checking out this sangria to make sure that we have just an appropriate amount of fruit flavor.
Jack, look how great this looks.
It looks great. And I'm Jack McDavid. You're Bobby Flay. Did you know that? And we'll be back in a few seconds. If you want the recipes, just check the channel right behind us.
If you would like to receive a copy of the recipes that you've just seen, along with a complete recipe collection from this week's shows, please send a check for $3 for shipping and handling to TV Food Network, Church Street Station, P.O. Box 3399, New York, New York 10008.